Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 things you didn't know about Jake Paul and Logan Paul. They're the brothers who are taking over the internet right now. They have the fastest growing YouTube channels, millions of fans and haters, and are now sneaking into Hollywood. But whether you're a super fan, don't like them, or have never heard of them before, get ready to learn some new crazy facts about them. Despite people being so engrossed in their lives, these are facts that are very interesting and surprising. Before this video starts, click the link in the top right corner to subscribe to Little Things for more amazing content. And subscribe to Top 10s and turn on notifications and comment done when you've done this for a shout out at the end of our next video. Coming in at number 10, we have Big Bucks. After 6 months of starting on Vine, they were already making more money than their parents. It's no secret that the Paul brothers make a lot of money today. But how much money is it exactly? There's no real way to tell for sure, but a very accurate estimation can be made. From their YouTube channels, Jake Paul apparently makes $23 million a year, while Logan makes $16 million a year. Also, each brand endorsement they do makes them around $200,000. And they've both had TV appearances, as well as Jake Paul having a big contract with Disney. They both live in very large houses, which are estimated to cost in the millions of dollars. Not only that, Jake Paul owns a brand new $175,000 self-driving Tesla. They make a lot from their merchandise and have thousands of fans who buy anything from t-shirts to phone cases. Despite there not being an exact figure, it is in the millions, and it's safe to say they make a whole lot of money. Next up is Dropouts. You may think that Jake and Logan Paul have always been YouTube stars as they're so young. As we said before, they started out on Vine. During this time, Jake Paul was at high school and Logan Paul was at Ohio University. After he gained around 2 million followers, he dropped out to move to LA to become, quote, the biggest entertainer in the world. Jake Paul also dropped out of high school despite his teachers saying he was making a big mistake. But this was clearly not the case, as he is now super successful online. Jake did actually go on to graduate online high school and received a diploma in LA. They both dropped out of school and were able to make it work. Logan and Jake Paul have actually had other businesses during their school years. For example, they started a landscaping company when they were both in high school and worked all day for $10 an hour. So despite them being very well established online right now, this is not where they began. Next up is divorce. Watching their vlogs, it may seem like the Paul brothers live the perfect life. They have huge houses, fancy cars, and make a lot of money. But their past was not as sweet as their present. Back when they were young, their parents Greg and Pam Paul began arguing. Gradually, the arguments would get worse and worse, which was very tough on the Paul brothers. Finally, the couple decided to get a divorce. And as you can imagine, this was very sad for the brothers at first, but they later came around to the idea, saying that 2 Christmases were better than 1. It's good they made it into a positive thing, and even though divorce is very common nowadays, it's tough on any kid, no matter who they are. This is an example of character building too, so perhaps their parents' divorce helped them become stronger. Their parents are still separated today, but are living happily on their own, and Jake and Logan are still in frequent contact with both of them, and their parents often feature in both Jake and Logan Paul's daily vlogs. Next up is wrestler. Right now, the brothers work day and night on YouTube, but they used to have some very different hobbies back in the day. Logan Paul made a name for himself in his local area by wrestling. His brother Jake then followed in his footsteps and became a very competitive wrestler at his high school. They were both very good and won several competitions. Not only that, at the same time the brothers also played football. They would compete and work out in the gym all day trying to be better than each other at football. Jake Paul gave it up during high school, but Logan continued his sports career into college. But since moving to LA to become a YouTuber and actor full-time, he hasn't had time to keep it up. By the looks of their old wrestling photos, they were pretty good. And despite not playing any sports anymore, they still do go to the gym every day. And recently, Jake Paul played in a celebrity charity basketball game, so perhaps they're changing what sports they're into. Would you take on the Paul brothers in a wrestling match? I'm not sure I would, but they do have a lot of haters who might want to. Next up is generations of vlogging. How embarrassed would you be if your parents began making YouTube videos? Well, that's exactly what Jake and Logan Paul have to contend with. Their parents Greg and Pam have recently taken up vlogging like their sons. This is odd because their parents already have quite good jobs. Their father Greg is a realtor and their mother Pam is a nurse. Despite this, they still vlog their everyday lives and post it to YouTube, and thanks to their sons mentioning them a lot, they've become quite successful online. And recently, their mom got her first brand deal. She says she isn't planning to quit her nursing job just yet, but has thought about it. If she starts making anywhere near the kind of money her sons are, perhaps it's not a bad idea. As for their dad, he's currently traveling around the USA with some Jake Paul fans. How would you feel if your guys' parents began vlogging? I would be pretty embarrassed. No offense, mom and dad. Next up is businessman. Jake Paul is a YouTuber, actor, and also a businessman. He has his own company named Team Dom, which has raised a lot of money. He raised over $1 million to employ members of Team 10 and to buy a big house in Hollywood for them to make videos in. One of those investors was famous investor Gary Vaynerchuk, who was a big investor in Twitter and Uber. So perhaps Team Dom is going to be something big, as Twitter and Uber have done so well. Jake Paul was able to raise $1 million at 19, which is rather impressive. Apparently, the way the company works is that 10% of all of the members' income goes into the company, according to Logan Paul. And according to sources, 50% of the money the company makes goes to investors. Despite this, his brother Logan Paul says the company doesn't make much money. But whether that's true or not, Jake Paul is still making some big business moves. Next up is Team Dom. We all know Team 10. It consists of 10 YouTubers who live in the same house together, and Jake Paul is the CEO. But the actual name of the company is Team Dom, which consists of Team 10 and 2 other teams. According to their website, Team X and TGZ Capital are also 2 subsidiaries of Team Dom. Team X is basically the Team 10 of China, and they connect Chinese brands with American influencers. And TGZ Capital is a fund founded by Jake Paul, Cameron Dallas, and Patrick Finnegan. It seems they pay money into Team Dom and invest in themselves. It's unclear exactly what all of the things Team Dom does are, as its private business matters. But suffice to say, they're making some big deals behind the scenes and are doing much more than just making YouTube videos. The COO of Team Dom, Nick Crompton, is also involved in a company called Social Chain, which may be to do with Team Dom. And it seems their company is growing every day in size of their fans and members of Team Dom. And I'm sure the company will be making everyone involved very rich sooner or later. Next up is Vine Street. We all know Jake Paul lives with Team 10 in the Team 10 house. But what about his brother, Logan Paul? Well, he lives in one massive apartment located in Hollywood. He lives with various Vine stars who are now on YouTube. And the funny part is, his apartment is located on a street called Vine Street. The apartment is huge and luxurious. He shares the apartment with Viners such as King Batch and others. And many famous Viners make guest appearances at the house. This is ideal for Logan Paul, as he can do all of his acting work near his home, as it's located in West Hollywood. And as they're all Viners who live in the same house, they can collaborate on videos together. It seems like a crazy house to live in, but maybe not as crazy as Jake Paul's Team 10 house. Would you rather live in the Vine Street apartment, the Team 10 house, or neither? Next up is Disney. If you've tuned into the Disney Channel in the last 2 years, you may have seen a show called Bizaardvark. Well, Jake Paul actually features in this show. The show is about groups of kids who are split into teams. They create YouTube videos and compete with each other to get a lot of views. Many YouTubers and Vine stars make cameos on the show, but Jake Paul began as a fairly small character. However, since his recent fame, he has now been given a much bigger role. And more episodes are now based around his character named Dirk. He likely brings in hundreds of thousands of more viewers onto the show, and his contract is likely worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as he gets more and more famous and the show depends more and more on the character, this figure may increase. The show is now in its 2nd season and ratings are going up. The reviews may not be great, but hey, it gets viewers. Next up is breakups. Like everyone, the Paul brothers have had relationships and breakups. Jake notoriously recently broke up with Alyssa Violet. He then released a diss track on her, which she made a response to with Rice Gum. Jake Paul is now married to Erica Costella. Some say it won't last, but who really knows? Logan, on the other hand, has had a string of girlfriends. He has a lot of female fans, so I don't think getting a girlfriend would be a problem for him. But he's currently rumored to be dating actress Chloe Bennett. And photos of them kissing in Hawaii have been snapped just 7 days ago. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is very obvious and has even had makeout competitions with his other married friend. One thing's for sure, these brothers are some very interesting characters. Check out the poll in the top right corner and you can vote for the most surprising Jake and Logan Paul fact. I think it's their parents making YouTube videos. I don't know how I'd feel if my parents began making top 10 videos. This video shout out goes to Paul M. Subscribe and turn on notifications and comment done for a shout out in the next video. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on the screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.